Conclusion inevitable.
It was a jump to conclusions, Matt.
My conclusion was that this idea was not a practical deterrent.
My only conclusion can be that it was a Sith Lord.
In conclusion.
Hello there, folks. Welcome back to In Conclusion, the only movie podcast with a bunch of fascist ninja school counselor secret police. I am Dan O'Keefe, and joining me as always is Anna Otto. Anna, how are you?
Dan, this movie had one redeeming quality for me.
Was it the swankiness of it all?
Oh, I was going to say Walter Goggins.
Well, you didn't even get his name right.
What's his last name?
You got his last name. Walton.
Walton?
Yeah.
I thought it was Walter.
No, it's Walton. Like the Waltons.
Oh, that's embarrassing. I'm going to be so very honest with you. In our house, he is strictly Baby Billy from The Righteous Gemstones.
Uncle Baby Billy, please.
Yes.
Baby Billy's Bible Bonkers.
Ooh, love that show. Anyway, I'm good, Dan. It's really hot in Wisconsin. It's like 96, but it feels like 100 million. So,
do you know what I learned? Why
What?
it feels like 100 million?
if you utter the words corn sweat in my ears, because you would be the second person today to do that, and the first person that said it, I laughed in their face.
It's the corn sweats.
The corn sweats! Damn those corns.
Something that you think that either of us would have heard of ever prior to right now.
I love that we both, learned of this recently.
Yeah, very important, having grown up surrounded by the corn sweats, never knowing what was causing it.
It's like the meat sweats, but vegan. How about you, Dan? How are you?
I'm good. I won a competition recently.
Yes,
Yes,
rapturous
queen.
applause. In post, editor, could you put some applause in? Just kidding, it's just Dan. You don't have to. I'll clap right now.
This is incredible. This is a soundscape. You've given me so much to work with.
I feel a little silly. I drank about 3/4 of a poppy before coming on.
Oh my, 3/4 of a can?
I'm letting loose.
You're going hog wild.
Just tap the glass on the mic there so that the listeners can get a sample of what's going on.
To our ASMR podcast.
Yes. So if you hear some slurping going on, it's because I'm finishing up this cherry limeade.
Oh my god. Also, I'm trying to drink straight coffee now.
What is wrong with you?
Not black coffee, just to be totally
thank
clear.
God.
Like
thank God.
My whole coffee consumption has been lattes, basically, because we have an
Okay.
espresso machine, so I make myself them. But I'm trying to drink coffee, like regular brewed coffee with,
Hot coffee?
yes, hot coffee with a shocking amount of creamer in it. White chocolate creamer.
Oh, period. We got cinnamon up in the fridge right now.
Yeah.
Cinnamon dolce. Yeah.
But a negative that I have discovered from this is I am now about 300 calories less in the morning of consuming.
You're going to be hungry.
I get ravenous. No, I'm always ravishing.
I picture you like, ooh. Like,
Yeah, I get so pretty. I get so pretty when I drink coffee.
Dan's cheeks blush. He grows like giant eyelashes.
I'm just flirting with everybody that I pass in my home.
My God.
Flirting with my cat and
Anna
my wife.
Poppy. Yeah, I'm a iced coffee girly, and I usually pair that with a homemade smoothie, which I heard that some people are anti-smoothie because apparently you get less fiber if you blend it up, but it keeps me full.
I'm pro
So-
smoothie.
I am too. It's the only way I'll get like a good amount of fruits into my system because I don't find myself just snacking on them. So then I eat a whole banana and like a cup of strawberries and some pineapple, some avocado. The whole thing, like she's a fit girl when
Yeah.
she has her smoothie.
The whole shebang.
And I put some non-fat Greek yogurt in there and some protein powder. Just if you see
You
a
bulking?
dust speck floating
Bulking
by, it's because
season?
it's because I'm a little skinny and also ripped at the same time.
If you turn parallel to somebody, do they lose you?
They do. They go, oh my God, where's Anna? I go, it's me. I was just drinking a smoothie this morning.
Sorry, I've lost my third dimension. I'm 2D now.
Literally. No, I love a smoothie.
I love a
should try
smoothie.
that.
I don't
Pair
like
your coffee
making a
with a
smoothie.
smoothie.
Well, I like making a smoothie. I don't like cleaning up making a smoothie. I hate washing my blender.
Oh, you need a bullet.
Oh.
That's what I use.
That's what I say when people annoy me.
Oh, okay, well.
You need a bullet.
No, but I'm telling you, it's a life changer because then the only cleanup is after you drink the smoothie and you just have to rinse the little. I mean, you still have to wash the blender part, but like it's small and it's easier to clean.
I'm sure it is. Welcome back to Smoothie Talk, the only movie podcast about smoothies. Smoothie Talk.
Yum.
Movie that we're talking about today, if you couldn't tell by our total excitement on the topic by not talking about it at all yet, it's the next Karate Kid.
I just gotta let you know that when Walt came on the old screen, I made Gage pause the movie so I could go, "In my man, thank you to my man," for like 5 minutes.
When he came on the
only thing I
screen,
cared about.
didn't do anything, and then was a background character until the end where he goes, "No, man."
I know. I was like, wow, he's really come a long way.
He really has.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone
His
has.
arms, though. Yeah.
The next Karate Kid, directed by Christopher Kane, who also directed Pure Country 2, The Gift.
That sounds familiar. Just the Pure Country part.
Well, he also directed Pure Country, a 1992 musical western starring George Strait.
I've probably seen that on Spotify, and that's why it sounds familiar. I've been known to like some country.
He also directed Young Guns, the Billy the Kid movie with Emilio Estevez.
Oh, yeah, I don't know that one.
And The Amazing Panda Adventure.
That one sounds really cute. Sorry, that was a
a-
whisper. That sounds really cute.
It's a Disney, or no, it's Warner Brothers. Oh, the poster looks like Disney. Anyway, Christopher Kane, he also has two sons, Roger and Dean Kane. Dean Kane, known for being an actor that played Superman in the 90s and being a crazy Donald Trump fanatic.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Written by Mark Lee, who does not have a Wikipedia page.
Half the people in this dang cast don't have a Wikipedia page.
Is the first movie not written by Robert Mark Kamen and not directed by the director of the original trilogy, John G.
And you know what?
Avildsen.
It's obvious.
Yes.
Like painfully.
Starring Pat Morita, Hillary Swank in her first movie role, Michael Old Ironsides, Constance Towers, Chris Conrad, Sonny Trinidad, Michael Cavallari, Walton Goggins, and former Hawaiian Senator Daniel Inouye, and the voice of Frank Welker. I know what you're asking. What voice role is there in this?
Yeah.
He's the voice of the hawk. He made all the hawk noises.
You're kidding me.
I'm going to date this podcast immediately to when we're recording it. He hawk Tua'd all the hawk noises.
All right. I'm taken away. You're done. You're done. You're done.
Cinematography by Laszlo Kovacs, who was also the cinematographer for Easy Rider. How the mighty have fallen.
Oh, Lord. This is going to be a long episode, Dan.
I'm not sure that it is, because there's not much to talk about once we start talking about the movie.
All right. Not that I don't love seeing your face and talking to you. This is going to be a long episode.
Released on August 12th, 1994, with a budget of $12 million. It made $15.8 million at the box office. By far the lowest grossing of any of the Karate Kid movies.
It's just so boring and bad.
On Rotten Tomatoes, I want you to guess what the percent approval rating is.
20%, and that feels high.
That is
feels
high.
generous.
That is generous. Yeah. It's 7.
I was going to say 1, but that felt silly.
Split the difference. 7% approval rating with an average score of 3.8. The next Karate Kid is noteworthy for giving audiences the chance to see a pre-Oscars Hillary Swank, but other than a typically solid performance from Pat Morita, this unnecessary fourth installment in the franchise has very little to offer.
Yeah, I would say it was more the cast did what they could with what they were given.
Sure.
Oh.
I agree.
Well, I'm talking specifically about like Pat and Hillary.
Yes, I agree.
They were putting their backs into this. And you know what? They were directed poorly.
If this starred 2 worse actors, I mean, I think specifically Hillary Swank needed, like somebody with the acting talent of Hillary Swank needed to be in this versus like a replacement level 90s forgotten TV actor.
Yeah.
It,
someone that I know
nothing
is...
would have worked.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. Yeah. I just think, like, I know she's a good actress, but I found her acting to be stale in this.
Sure. She was also saying absurdly horrible lines.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, she did her best. She put her back into it, and I will credit her that. But
Julie.
at what cost?
My name is Julie. My mom's name is Susan. She died in a car crash with my father.
Please.
Years ago.
It was so forced. It was so forced. I said to Gage, I was like, ow, that hurt. Because it was forced on me. Oh, so bad, Dan.
My biggest disappointment with this movie, specifically, is this is the only Karate Kid movie that you don't have to pay to watch. Like, you don't have to have...
Yeah.
It's on Netflix. Why is this one on Netflix?
That's what Gage and I said. The exact same words that we said. I was like, this is not the one I would want to watch if I was trying to watch a Karate Kid. But I think maybe it goes through cycles, you know?
I guess.
They have this one and they have the Jaden Smith one, and that's it.
What a difference in quality between those two, also. We'll talk about that next time. But what a difference in quality.
I cannot wait.
Do we have to get into it?
Against our will, Dan.
Can we just not? Also, okay, another thing that makes me angry about this. This takes place in Boston.
Yeah, that
I've
was
never
weird.
been to anywhere that they filmed this. I can't be annoying and point that out.
Oh, I just didn't care for the fact that it was random. Gage turns to me and he goes, the most unrealistic thing about this movie is that Daniel didn't force his way into a plane ticket to Boston.
Yeah, right? Well, we don't know what happened with Daniel.
He's gone.
This is 5 years after the last one.
Yeah. I like to think he got his life together and just decided to hit the trail, you know?
I think if either of us watched Cobra Kai, it explains what happened.
Probably.
I know he becomes...
I'm thinking we're going to try it.
He becomes a car dealer.
Oh, okay. Not the job choice I was expecting, but okay. When I hear the word Encino, I think of Patchy the Pirate. There, I said it.
I think of Encino Man, the movie. With Pauly Shore. Never seen it.
That's who you're going to start with?
Yeah, Pauly Shore. Everyone's favorite actor.
Isn't Brendan Fraser in that?
Yes. He's the titular Encino Man.
Dan.
Okay, the next Karate Kid. It starts off with a military ceremony at Arlington National Cemetery, commending the Japanese Americans who fought in World War II. There's a speech being given by Senator Daniel Inouye of Hawaii.
Oh, is that who that was?
Real-life senator, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Senator from Hawaii from 1963 to 2012.
Good for him.
He was
Get your bread. Enjoy your acting.
First U.S. representative from Hawaii.
Oh,
ever.
Really?
Yeah, he was elected in 1959, then elected to the Senate in 1962, and then served until he died in 2012.
Okay, I have a stupid question. I don't want any hate for this. When did Hawaii become a state, and when did Alaska become a state?
They both became states in 1959.
That's crazy. It all makes sense now. So I, a cultured, learned woman, have been listening to it on audiobook, and they were talking about penny candy. No, talking about doing the like book reading club at your library over the summer, and how one of the little boys loves to do the book club, and his favorite thing about it was that you got a map, and they said of all 48 states, and you get a sticker that you can put over each state for each book that you read. And I was like, 48? And then I guess I forgot that it
is set in
it's
the
like relatively
50s.
recent. No, I remembered that, but it was just like the fact that those places didn't become states until relatively recently in history, I guess, is something I forget about.
Yeah, I was watching, like one does, I was watching a debate, like an old presidential primary debate between...
You and I are just two unique people who
Yeah.
love things.
I would give you 80 million guesses on who the debate was between, and you wouldn't get it.
No.
It was between
Just tell me, Dan.
Adlai Stevenson and Estes Kefauver.
I would never have guessed a second person, and I forgot that Adelaide Stevenson was a real person, or however you say his first name.
Adlai, not Adelaide.
Adlai.
He's not Australian.
Gave him a woman's name, I guess.
But they were talking about issues that were affecting all 48 states. I was like, oh yeah, because that was in 1956. Anyway, he's at Arlington Cemetery. While Mr. Miyagi is at this ceremony, he meets Louisa Pierce, who is the widow of his commanding officer, Jack Pierce. And they listen to a speech. This opening scene's fine. Feels like it's just like, it's there. It's nothing. Mr. Miyagi is given a different name in this opening scene than he has in the rest of the franchise.
Yeah. Gage and I both were like, wait a second. Something's wrong here. But anyway.
Yeah, Nariyoshi is his real first name, and in this it's Kaisuke.
Why did they just change his name?
I don't know, because they didn't do any research. They just were just like, let's ride with this one.
And Pat said, yeah, cut me the check.
Probably. Okay, of the $12 million budget, I don't think he got $1 million. I think he got $500,000 at least.
Honestly, a bag's a bag, you
right?
know?
A bag is a bag is a bag.
Sorry, let me put that in terms you can understand. A bag is a bag.
That took so much effort.
It was hard. I had to say that once in a show, and do you know how stressed out I was every time I did that monologue? I was like, bag.
Oh, I thought you were going to start doing Madness by Muse. I've heard myself, I've been listening to myself talking recently because I'm horribly self-centered. But no, it was just, I was talking to somebody and I heard myself say something, and it was, I said like no or something. Or don't, and it was something I heard like a California accent when I was saying it, and I was like, oh no, this can't be happening.
Dan.
I pride myself on having a nondescript American Midwest accent, and I can keep that. I can't pick up any regional things.
I don't know what to tell you, Dan.
My only accent peculiarity is the way that I say catch. So, back to the next Karate Kid, who we still haven't met. Mr. Miyagi is introduced to Louisa Pierce's granddaughter, Julie, a teen struggling with anger issues due to her parents' death in a car accident. If you didn't know that her parents died in a car accident, don't worry. She tells us. Julie. My name is Julie. Susan was my mother's name. And she died in a car accident.
I'm literally stressed out. I hate this so much.
Do you realize what the plot of this movie is?
Dan, I'm going to be so very honest with you. I have no freaking clue what the plot of this is.
A widowed woman passes off her granddaughter with anger issues on one of her husband's former soldiers, while she dips off to get a free vacation.
I don't even know. It was so...
That's it. That's what happens.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Julie, her school is weird. It has like a security force run by a colonel.
Yeah. What the hell? Dan, I was watching this and I literally said to Gage, I was like, so is this supposed to be like JROTC but worse?
Right? It's fucking black shirts.
They have like little symbols on their arms. Something about this doesn't sit well with me personally.
What, the deep fascism running through this school?
I mean, it's giving cult.
Yes.
It's giving cult for sure.
It's taking away rights.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Colonel Paul Dugan is in charge of this strike force.
Mm-hmm.
And Ned, Randall, Charlie, and Eric McGowan are members of it. Eric is only kind of a member, though, because he's got the hots for Julie. He's interested in her. He's as interesting as White Bread.
True. He's
All
so
characters
boring.
are. He's so boring. He can stand on top of trains, which is the only interesting thing that he does.
Yeah.
He's like a train security guard. It's bizarre.
Yeah.
The biggest issue with this movie is we have no reason to care about anything. Right?
Yeah. No, I'm not attached to anyone. I like the Hawk.
Yeah. The Hawk and Mr. Miyagi. Have that be the whole
even
movie.
Mr. Miyagi, I'm like, hey, bro.
Yeah, so
I don't know what to even say.
Julie is caring for a hawk on the roof of the school that she is keeping hidden from everybody. I don't understand how she's still keeping this hawk hidden, that she sneaks up to the roof of her school. There's nobody looking.
I know. And when they were showing that blinking, I know it's a silent alarm, but it's crazy to think of a time. And it's probably bad to say this, but it's crazy to think of a time when there weren't cameras in schools.
I mean, this was 5 years before Columbine, and even Columbine had cameras in schools. So this is like right on the cusp of cameras versus not having cameras.
Yeah. It's so weird to think about because I think like there are a lot of reasons why we shouldn't have cameras in schools and all that stuff, but I also think it helps with this. I don't know, Dan.
I don't think that kids deserve civil liberties, so I think that we need to have much more than just cameras in schools.
Dan!
Remember how I said if I ever run for office, I need to delete this whole podcast?
Yes,
I'm just tripling down on it.
Okay, perfect. Excellent. I'm so glad.
Yeah, so Mr. Miyagi invites Louisa, the grandmother, to stay at his house in Los Angeles to tend to his garden while he stays in Boston as Julie's caretaker. It's just giving a woman a free vacation. What the fuck?
I don't love that he, like, I know he's not a stranger, but I don't love that she just left her child with essentially a stranger to her.
It's not her
child.
It's her grandchild. Because her parents died in a car crash.
She should care at least a little bit more than that, right?
She should, I guess. We're never shown that she loves or cares about her. Like, she cares about her in the way that she, like, tries to discipline her, allegedly.
I guess.
It just doesn't. Nothing works.
It's not giving.
Yeah, so then when Julie's in school, she meets Eric McGowan. Also, apparently it's like Julie is meeting these people for the first time, even though this is not her first day at this school. She's been going to this school for presumably her entire life. Born in the school. Raised in it. Molded by it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so she meets Eric McGowan, white bread with mayonnaise and more mayonnaise on it, and margarine maybe.
Ew.
Well, he does have a cool car. I hope nothing happens to it. He's also a pledge for the school security fraternity, the Alpha Elite.
Thank you so much.
I thought the Alpha Elites were those dad shoes.
Yep.
Those are Air Maxes, I think. So the Alpha Elite, they are trained to enforce school rules through physical force through their colonel, Paul Dugan.
Which is terrifying. Physical force, girl.
Right?
There's no reason. There's zero reason.
He's got one student, Ned Randall, who is the prototype version of Cal in Titanic.
True.
Looks like him, kind of. Is insane like him, yes. Is from the East Coast, yes. That's really all as far as the comparison goes. But Ned tries to fucking sexually assault Julie in the first scene that we see him. And then he's like, I caught her smoking. Pulls out a pack of cigarettes from his own pocket, catching her smoking. And
Dear
Julie
God.
gets punished. She gets a 2-week suspension.
I do feel bad for Julie because, okay, did you think the lead guy from the gang of black shirt
Ned Randall.
Yeah, Ned. Did you think that he was trying to like get with her, but at the same time get her?
Yes, absolutely. I think that's exactly what he was trying to do.
It was so horrible.
What, his actions or the movie?
That's up to you to decide, Dan.
What is the it? What's the object in this sentence?
There is none. It's up for interpretation.
So Julie is ending an argument with Mr. Miyagi, and she walks out into the middle of the street, not looking both ways. What a fool. When a pizza delivery driver almost runs her over. But don't worry, she's fine.
Star.
She jumps up onto the hood of the car.
Wild
stuff. The delivery driver gets out and apologizes profusely.
I want you to know it was at this point when Gage closed his eyes and said, "Wake me up if there's fighting."
Yeah. And you didn't have to wake him up.
I didn't. I woke him up like once as a joke.
Yeah. And then she learns to confide in Mr. Miyagi, trusts him after that. And she was taught karate by her father, who learned from her grandfather, Mr. Miyagi's captain, who Mr. Miyagi taught. It all travels down through the ages, which brings up a plot hole. Her grandma yells at her her mom's name. Kind of like you would yell at your own daughter if she was acting up.
I feel like they could have written it off as like, oh, it was a mistake. I didn't mean to say that.
Well, but Susan wasn't even her daughter. It was her daughter-in-law. She never would have yelled at her when she was a kid.
So she just hated her daughter.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Her daughter-in-law.
Yeah.
That's pretty rough, honestly.
Maybe she's the villain.
I think she is. I really think she might be.
Yeah. Louisa Pierce? You bitch? I hope you burn down Mr. Miyagi's house.
Damn.
With you inside it. So, going to feed Angel, the hawk, one night, Julie gets detected by Alpha Elite, chase her through the school, chase her down the outside of the school. They cannot catch up to her as she climbs down the ladder. She gets to the ladder and starts climbing down incredibly slowly. I don't know if you noticed that. She like lightly jogs over and like waits to get into like a safety position before she starts going down.
Honestly, good. Make sure that you're safe. Girl, don't break your body. It's not worth it.
She escapes them but gets arrested and gets suspended for 2 weeks. And Mr. Miyagi's like, hell yeah, road trip, baby.
I don't... Why is he always taking children on adventures like this?
What else is he going to do?
I guess.
This was the best because he knows her so little. Also, sorry, I skipped over this. She gets a job babysitting in a scene that doesn't matter.
This is dumb.
It's a Nerf commercial.
Yeah, it literally is.
She gets a job babysitting kids across the street, and she's playing with Nerf guns and stuff. It's a 4-minute scene that adds nothing, means nothing, and is literally a commercial for how much fun you can have with Nerf products. They mention it by name. You are just so interested.
Dan, I hated this movie so much. I have to be so honest with you. I had it on.
Uh-huh.
Could not tell you a plot point.
I watched it this morning. And
Okay, so you're a little fresher than me.
as I was watching it, it was like, oh my God, this movie has gone on. This has to be close to the end. I see what timestamp I'm at. I was 25 minutes in.
Oh, that's so rough. I started this movie and we're watching it. It was the same thing. I was like, we have to be almost done. And we paused it. And not 25 minutes, but pretty close. It was just painful, Dan. It was painful, Dan.
Yeah.
I tried.
On this 2-week road trip, vacation, whatever, they go to a Buddhist monastery that allegedly exists right outside of Boston. After Mr. Miyagi uses his karate skills to have gross men in the gas station fight each other. Gas was so cheap.
I know. I saw it, and he's like giving her like $5 for 5 gallons of gas and candy, and I was like, damn.
I wish that for me. I wish that for you.
Take me back. Take me back in time.
So at this monastery, they try to teach her the true ways of karate, how to handle her issues. They get mad at her for trying to kill a cockroach with her shoe.
Didn't get that because, to be entirely honest with you, I also would have tried to kill the cockroach. But not actually, because I am very icked out by all creatures. I would be like, ew, somebody should kill that, though.
But then as a peace offering later, she brings them a bug. I cannot think of the name of this bug right now. Like a praying mantis.
It's a praying mantis, Dan.
Totally
Love
went blank.
praying mantis.
She brings him she takes a praying mantis from a flower and is like, okay, here, this means I'm good, right?
Yeah, I didn't get that.
I
I
didn't
was like,
save
so
it.
you're just showing it? Or...
And they're like, yes, and they put it in the tree and it's fine.
yeah.
So then she learns balance, coordination, awareness, respect for all life. The monks throw her a birthday party after they dance to the Cranberries.
Yeah, I did love that.
I loved it too because it was the only good part of the movie. Well, yeah. One of the two good parts of the movie. The anytime that the Cranberry song was playing, and then we'll get to the second good part in a second.
Okay, I can't wait.
The monks throw a birthday party for her, and Mr. Miyagi also catches an arrow mid-flight, like they get shot at him and he catches it. Zen archery,
Slay.
right? Still, no karate has gone on in this movie. By the
No,
way,
there's no karate whatsoever to be found. We're out here, we're searching, we're literally begging, craving, screaming out for just a crumb of karate. A crumb,
a
Dan.
crumb, not even a crumb of a crumb.
Literally, just like a taste. Please, I beg of you. I'm screaming. I'm like, please, I'm starved for karate.
Too bad.
Nope.
Yeah,
they said that sucks.
So the other good part of the movie is when the monks go bowling. They go bowling with Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah.
That's kind of fun.
I do like that part. That is a cute part.
It's cute. It's silly. It's interesting.
Yeah.
So she goes back to school. Angel was found by Ned, the crazy one.
Horrible nightmare.
And he called animal control? What the fuck? I thought he was going to kill it.
I know. Like, I guess he's evil, but not terrible, ?
Boo. Uninteresting. Do something. So Mr. Miyagi uses his pain suppression technique on a bird. He magically heals the bird's broken wing.
Iconic.
And they release it back in the wild.
slay, I guess.
He's gone from interesting old man with understanding of martial arts to man with magical powers.
Yes. He's everything. Okay? He's everything you could ever hope for.
This is supposed to be a realistic movie.
No. Take your realism and shove it, Dan.
I mean, it's realistic. They go to prom, and the Alpha Elite bungee jump in from the rafters and injure themselves in the process of doing that.
I don't know what to tell you.
Also, Mr. Miyagi buys Julie a dress for prom, or tries to buy her a dress for prom. Okay, maybe there's a third slightly good moment in him describing her and being unable to give any description of her.
Yeah, I did like that. That was cute.
She is not too tall, not too short, not too skinny, not too fat. Just the plainest description of anybody.
Basic, yes. I loved it. That was cute. I'll say it.
But like I said, they go to prom, and the Alpha Elite bungee jump in, which means they had to be set up there far beforehand, and we're just hanging out in the rafters and nobody noticed.
Yeah, I feel like somebody should have definitely been checking the rafters on that one.
Their bungee cords are too long, and one of them breaks their arm bungee jumping.
Classic.
They do fucking beer hall puts of the prom. Like, attack the prom. What's happening? Why are they not at prom? Are they just incels? Yes.
Yes, Dan. They're incels with muscles, which makes it worse because then they think that they can do something.
So then Eric drives Julie home, kisses her.
Nice.
But Ned is following them, and he smashes the windows of Eric's cool car with a baseball bat.
Rude, honestly.
This is where nothing makes sense anymore, because he challenges him to a fight at the docks, where the rest of Alpha Elite and their colonel show up.
Yeah.
Johnny Fascism.
Their colonel is terrifying. I'm scared of him in a way I simply cannot describe.
They light Eric's car on fire. His cool car. Destroyed. Beat him nearly to death. But he gets saved.
God dang.
By Julie and Mr. Miyagi showing up. Ned tries to fight Julie. She challenges into an actual fight. They have a ring of fire match, basically. They're fighting surrounded by flames. And she doesn't get hurt by him, even when he throws sand in her face to blind her. She's still like, nah.
Dan, I watched this movie and everything you're saying sounds fake.
Right?
It feels unreal.
This sounds like you're asked to pitch something with 0 moments notice. And you're like, And then they go down to the docks and blow up his car. They have a fight. There's sand on the docks. Why? Sand. They're shipping sand.
Literally. That is literally how it feels.
Julie beats Ned. The rest of the group... Dugan tries to get the rest of the group to continue to fight, but Walton Goggins says no.
That's my king. That's my man, and I'm going to stand by him.
Mr. Miyagi fights the colonel and wins in like 2 seconds. Alpha Elite abandon him. And then we see the Angel the Hawk flying over the water. Free! Flying free! And the credits roll. Thank God.
Horrible movie. Dan,
Horrible.
I think I blacked out the entire time you were describing it, respectfully.
Terrible.
It's not that I don't love you. It's that I didn't want to go through that pain again.
I respect that decision very much.
Thank you so much for understanding. I really appreciate that.
Do you have any thoughts about why you think this is so terrible?
Dan, there's no plot. I mean, there's plot, I guess. But first of all, there's no plot, and there's worse, no karate. Hello?
Uh-huh. The next Karate Kid, parentheses, for about 5 minutes at the end of the movie, end parentheses.
Right. Hope you didn't want actual karate, end parentheses.
Hope you wanted bad teen drama.
Literally. So dumb. I'm sitting here doing my best to watch, but I can't even...
No.
Everyone warned us, Dan. We didn't listen.
I've never heard a single positive thing about this movie, and I get it now.
No. Yeah, me
It
too.
makes
I
sense.
feel like I joined, you know?
The thing about the previous ones, like with the last one, the redeeming quality was you still had Daniel, who was an interesting character, and we had the backstory with him. You had the insane fill-in dojo rich guy character, and you had insane villains that were fun to watch, and you actually saw them throughout the movie in the second and third one. And this one, like Ned and the Colonel are insane people. You see them for like 6 minutes. The villains are barely a part of this.
Yeah. I feel like the real villain is honestly herself and her anger issues.
Which is not interesting. That's like not interesting for a karate movie.
No, not at all.
Unless she's fighting herself. The whole movie she should have been fighting a mirror.
Period. She should have been looking in a mirror.
I have very little trivia about this. But
Great.
all of Alpha Elite are older than high school age. Basically everybody cast is older than high school age.
The Ned
Mm-hmm.
homeboy had 5 o'clock shadow. I said that is not. I started this movie. I said that's a teacher, right?
Let's see.
That's not a student.
His actor's name is Michael Cavallari. He's the only person that does not have a Wikipedia page from this cast.
I was trying.
Looking at pictures of him now, he is seemingly much. Oh, it says that. Okay. It says he was 15? That's not right.
No, he wasn't. That can't be right. That was a grown man, and you can't tell me otherwise.
Because I like looking at his headshots now, and like looking at what else he has been in. He is definitely older than that. He was not 15. Also, his jaw. No teen has that jaw.
No, I said, be so for real. Look at him. He's looking, what's the word? Grown.
Yeah. I cannot find how old he is.
I tried. I searched and searched and searched.
But like Hillary Swank was 20. The guy who played Eric was 24, I think. So like, yeah, they're all adults, and they all look like it too. It's like a weird soap opera thing that's going on.
Yeah.
This was Hillary Swank's breakout role in the acting industry. And this was seemingly not written originally as a Karate Kid movie. Because the working title for it that I can see here, I don't know where this is sourced from, was Young Americans or Kids in America. Which, if it wasn't written as a Karate Kid movie, that makes a lot of sense. Because all the Karate Kid stuff is really tacked on.
I don't even know what to say.
I'm looking at this other list of trivia. Pat Morita had come up with an idea for a 5th Karate Kid movie.
No. Put it in the trash.
It was a dying Mr. Miyagi would be training Johnny Lawrence in his peaceful karate so he can find balance in his life. Before Mr. Miyagi passes away and gets sent to Okinawa so he can be buried there. It was not made.
Oh.
Part of it was adapted for Cobra Kai, though. John G. Avildsen was supposed to direct this one, but he dropped out to direct a different movie.
I mean, no offense, but it's for the best.
Yeah, and even though this was released 5 years after the Karate Kid Part 3, it's set 9 years later, because Karate Kid Part 3 was still set in 1985.
Slay. I love it.
Anna, would this movie be better, worse, or the same with Jonathan Taylor Thomas as Ned or Eric?
Better, because I think that he'd at least have looked slightly youthful.
Right? Something.
Something, Dan. Something, please. A crumb of realism. I beg of you.
Jimmy Stewart as Colonel Dugan.
Ooh. Mm-hmm.
War ain't over because one battle is. I'm gonna put your lights out. It's the only quote I could find of him. There is a really good quote from this movie. Ambition without knowledge is like a boat on dry land.
That is a good, honestly, that is a really good quote. That's the only thing.
On a scale of 1 to 5 bungee jumping school fraternity Nazis, what do you give this?
1.
Same.
And that feels, honestly...
charitable.
Yes.
Very charitable.
Yeah, it does. It feels incredibly
kind. Don't worry, we'll be back next week with a much better film. Because we are still keeping this train rolling.
We're here forever.
After this, we're going to start doing Cobra Kai, 1 episode at a time.
No!
We got
Wait.
40-something episodes of that to watch. No, next week we'll be back with Karate Kid. Not The Karate Kid, just Karate Kid. I believe. Unless it is The Karate Kid.
I think it's The Karate Kid.
No, oh yeah, it is. It's The Karate Kid. The 2010 one with Will Smith.
Can't wait.
In the meantime, everybody, if you want to support In Conclusion, you can find us on social media, Facebook and Twitter at and In Conclusion, on Instagram at In Conclusion Podcast. We're on Patreon at patreon.com/In Conclusion. I'm on Twitter at Dan O'Keefe86 and on TikTok at Dan O'Keefe. Where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at AnonymousPrime818, or you can find me on Twitter at AutobotsRollOut, capital O for Auto, capital B for Box, capital R for Roll, and the O and out are zeros. Ooh, I almost tripped over my words there.
Oh, we'll be back next week with the Karate Kid, who's a little bit taller than me. And
I cannot wait to rap that entire song. Even though there's only one line of rap, I'm gonna sing the whole thing.
You're gonna do it.
I will never say never.
We'll be back with that. In the meantime, everybody stay safe and have fun. Bye-bye.
Bye. Yeah, and he's like, oh, you can do better. And I was like, why the fuck would you say that to someone?